Hello and welcome. Every single day, there are these hidden instructions kind of shaping your world. They influence everything from the music you hear to the news you read. Today, we're going to peel back that curtain on the algorithms that basically run our lives and ask a really important question. Who's actually in control here? Yeah, let's just dive right into the deep end with the biggest question of all. Is your free will an illusion? Think about it. That choice you just made to watch this explainer, or the song you're going to listen to next, was that really your decision? Or were you just kind of nudged along a path that was paved by artificial intelligence? To even begin to answer that, we have to start here with what we're calling the algorithm's illusion. See, on the surface, these things feel almost magical, don't they? They connect us with the perfect song, or a great job lead, or maybe even the love of our life. It feels helpful. It feels personal. But what's really going on underneath all that? Well, this slide really breaks it down perfectly. On one side, you have our experience, the seamless, helpful digital assistant. But on the other side, you have the reality. Platforms like TikTok and Instagram, they're measuring your engagement down to the millisecond. They're tracking how long you look at something, what you rewatch, what you immediately swipe away from. It's all designed to build a profile that just keeps you scrolling, because at the end of the day, your attention is the product they're selling. And the sheer complexity here is, well, it's just staggering. Let's take Facebook, for example. Its algorithms evaluate over 100,000 different variables just to decide what to put in your feed. Just stop and think about that for a second. 100,000 factors all weighing in on what information you get to see and, more importantly, what you don't. And that really gets to the core of it. It's not that these systems are built to be evil or malicious. This quote from Priyanka Roy nails it. They're just relentlessly optimized for one single thing, grabbing and holding on to your attention. The problem, the side effect, is that in doing so, they end up exploiting our own psychology, pushing us toward things that are familiar and just reinforcing the beliefs we already have. Which brings us to our next section, weapons of math destruction. Because when that relentless optimization goes wrong, and it does go wrong, it can have absolutely devastating consequences. A former Wall Street quant named Cathy O'Neill is the one who gave these flawed models that very powerful name. So what exactly is a weapon of math destruction, or WMD? Well, just like the slide says, it's an opaque, unfair algorithm. It basically operates like a black box. Its calculations are hidden, it's not held accountable when it makes mistakes, and way too often it ends up reinforcing really harmful stereotypes, especially against the poor and minority. But, not all algorithms are like this. Take the famous Moneyball example from baseball. This is what a healthy model looks like. So why does it work? Well, first, it's transparent. You can actually understand the inputs and the outputs. Second, the objective is crystal clear. Win more games. And third, it has a constant feedback loop. New game data is always coming in to refine and correct the model. And this is the crucial point. The WMDs that Cathy O'Neill warns us about are the complete opposite of that healthy model. Their calculations are hidden, the real objectives are murky at best. And maybe worst of all, their feedback loops don't correct mistakes, they actually double down on them, reinforcing the same faulty assumptions over and over and over again. Which brings us right here to real life, real harm. Because this isn't just some theoretical problem about baseball stats or social media feeds. These faulty algorithms are out there, right now, making decisions that cause severe, real-world harm to people's lives and their opportunities. And the examples are pretty alarming. Let's start with hiring. A major company built an AI recruiting tool to sort through resumes. But here's the thing. It learned from a decade of resumes that were mostly from men. So what did it do? It taught itself that female candidates were less desirable. It even started penalizing resumes that had the words women's chess club captain. Unbelievable. And it doesn't stop there. Here's another one from the financial world. An automated loan system was caught charging graduates from historically Black colleges and universities higher prices for student loans than other applicants, even when all their other credit factors were identical. It was basically a new high-tech form of redlining. The stakes get even higher when we talk about healthcare. A widely used algorithm that was supposed to identify patients for high-risk care programs consistently gave lower risk scores to Black patients than to equally sick white patients. And why? Because it used past healthcare costs as a stand-in for need, completely failing to account for the fact that Black patients historically have spent less because of unequal access to care in the first place. And finally, get this, even in our justice system, where these tools are often brought in to try and reduce human bias, they can end up just baking it right back in.
A risk assessment tool used in federal sentencing has been shown to overpredict the chance of reoffending for certain groups of color, creating a brand new layer of systemic bias.
Okay, so the harm is clear, and it's happening right now. So what's actually being done about it? Well, that brings us to Section 4, a blueprint for rights. There's a major effort happening right now to build a real framework for accountability and, to put some guardrails on this technology.
So this is the blueprint for an AI Bill of Rights, which was published by the White House. Now, it's really important to note that this is a non-binding framework. It's not the law. It's meant to be a guide, a set of principles to help steer the design and use of AI in a way that actually protects civil rights and democratic values.
And this blueprint is really built on 5 core principles. First, the systems have to be safe and effective. Pretty straightforward. Second, you should be protected from algorithmic discrimination. Third, your data privacy has to be respected. Fourth, you should get a notice and a clear explanation when one of these systems is being used on you. And finally, and this one is so important, there has to be a human alternative you can fall back on. So, okay, we can create rules, we can create frameworks. But this brings us to our last section and maybe the toughest piece of this entire puzzle. Can machines actually learn morality? Even if we have a Bill of Rights, we face this massive, fundamental challenge. Can we really teach a machine all the nuances of what it means to be human and moral? Because that's the real problem, isn't it? Morality, it's not a clean data set. It's a messy, deeply contextual web of judgments. What we think is right or wrong can completely change based on the situation, which is something that research into AI models like Delphi has made painfully clear. This slide is just the perfect illustration of that. So, is ignoring a phone call rude? Well, it depends, right? If it's from an unknown number, probably not. If it's from your parents, yeah, maybe a little rude. But what if it's from parents who abandoned you? Suddenly, the moral calculation completely flips. Context. Context is absolutely everything. And that's the gap we have not figured out how to bridge yet. As researchers themselves point out, even our most advanced language models show this fundamental lack of social and contextual understanding. I mean, they can follow rules, sure, but they struggle with the why behind those rules. And that can lead to some truly alarming and pretty illogical conclusions. Which in the end leaves us with this one final question. We are building systems that are powerful enough to shape our lives, our opportunities, even our choices. We can give these systems rules and data and principles, but can we ever truly teach them wisdom? That right there is the challenge that's going to define our future with AI.